Do you know what the return on investment is for your portfolio of major donors? Do you know what is acceptable when you launch a major gift program or where it should be in 5 years from now? In this podcast, Richard and I share with you what the ROI should be for a new portfolio, how to calculate it, and where it should be in 3 to 5 years. In addition, we're going to walk you through 12 reasons why we see low ROI in major gift portfolios and what you can do to ensure you don't fall victim to them. Join us as we'll give you some new insights about your portfolio and what you can do to continue to increase net revenue year after year.
Welcome to the Nothing But Major Gifts podcast from Veritas Group, featuring Richard Perry and Jeff Schreifels. Twice a month, we bring you the latest and best thinking about major gift fundraising, so you can develop authentic relationships with your major donors. Here are your hosts, Richard and Jeff.
Hey, thank you for joining us on the podcast today. I've got Richard Perry here with me, and we have a great topic today.
We always love to talk about return on investment. That's a big deal.
Today's podcast is all about the ROI of a major gift caseload.
Mm-hmm.
What's a reasonable expectation? And then we want to go through 12 reasons why we think major gift programs are not producing enough net revenue. So Richard, let me ask this question on behalf of the listener here. First off, how do we actually calculate ROI? And then what is actually a reasonable number when we're first starting out with a new portfolio versus more of an established one?
That's a great question. I mean, the answer to the first one, how do you calculate ROI, is basically you take all the costs of the MGO.
Okay.
So that would be salary
yep.
and benefits. So
Okay.
don't leave the benefits out. It's all the costs of the MGO, salary, benefits, and operating costs, because the MGO is going to be
like travel
or donor entertainment, or all those costs. You got to capture all of that, and be sure you have it all.
Yes,
because oftentimes it's like, because I often hear like, well, what we want you to do, MGO, is raise 3 times your salary. Well, that's only part of the cost. It's also the operating cost. So that's the first thing.
And that's kind of a dumb thing to say anyway, right? I mean, 3 times your salary based on what?
No, I've heard that. I've heard that a lot.
I know.
So that would be what you do. All the cost against the revenue side, which is all the revenue that a caseload will produce.
Okay. Yeah. And
so in terms of what's acceptable, like if you're just starting out, this is an interesting thing, because oftentimes a manager will say, well, in direct mail, I'm getting 1 to 4. I spend $1 and I get $4 back.
Yeah.
And so therefore, I don't know why a major gift officer wouldn't have that kind of return. Well, because they're just starting out. They have to spend actually the first 6 to 8 months qualifying donors,
right,
to make sure that they want to talk to you. And so that I would suggest, and we always say to folks, is have a return on investment of 1 to 2, or 1 to 3 when they're starting out. And
so
I would be
that means every dollar you spend, you're getting $2 or $3 back.
Yeah,
right.
And granted, that's not a really awesome return.
No,
we understand that, but it's where you're going to go to. That is important. So starting off, it's 1 to 2. As the caseload matures, then it becomes 1 to 4, 1 to 5. In 2 years or 3 years.
Yeah, and then
in 4 to 5 years, it's 1 to 10, 1 to 12. We've seen the ratios be 1 to 23 and even higher.
Yeah.
So, I remember one major gift officer, just one major gift officer whose caseload value was $8 million. $8 million.
Wow.
And so you have that ratio must have been 1 to 60 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that would be so all the costs against the caseload value.
Okay. So, and what you're saying is, if you're just starting out, it could take 5 years to really start seeing massive amounts of net revenue, right?
All the word massive, but you should get some really good return on investments in 3 years,
So
I would say.
if you're a manager or executive listening to this, take note of that.
Right. Well, and I'm glad you said that, Jeff, because so many managers say, we need some money right now. Let's get a major gift program started. Really?
Yeah.
It's not going to help you in the first year.
No.
It really is not going to help you in the first year. In the second year, it'll help you. And in the third year, it'll really help you.
Yeah.
And in the fourth and fifth year, it'll really, really help you. but don't expect it in the first year.
Okay. Now we got that established. Now I want to talk about, you've come up with 12 reasons why there's low ROI or low net revenue in MGO caseloads.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these you would think offhand, like, well, why is that meaning? How's that causing low ROI? But just hang in there with us because they're not all direct. So there's a lot of indirect reasons. Right. So let's get into those. So tell us about the first one.
Well, the first one is like, we sort of covered it already, is the MGOs just starting out. And this one, of course, is obvious. If you're in a startup mode, the first year is going to have a very low ROI. So just everybody needs to get that in their heads.
But that's a big point because you're just saying managers don't always, or executives don't get that.
They don't get it.
They just expect, boom, we're going to get millions of dollars in here.
Well, and here's the thing is that folks don't understand. When you look at major donors, so let's say in your organization, as you're listening right now, you classify a major donor as somebody that gives $1,000 cum in a calendar year, or 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever. Let's say you have a group of those donors. Only 1 out of every 3 of those donors is actually going to relate to you as a major gift officer. So most of the portfolios and caseloads we see around the country, Jeff, as you know, 2/3 of the caseloads or portfolios have donors on them that don't want to relate. It's a complete waste of money. So it takes 6 to 7, 8 months for a major gift officer to qualify the donors and figure that out, which is why you've got to let that time pass, which is why the first year is not a good net revenue producer.
Yep. Okay. What's next?
The second one is the MGO is not suited for the job. That's a big reason for a lack of return on investment. As we're speaking right now, I can think of a situation in one client situation where this major gift officer, very good person, but should not be in this job. Doesn't know how to manage it, doesn't know how to approach donors, doesn't know how to keep relationship. Time is ticking by. Hardly any money's being raised. Hardly any meaningful connections are being made. So that's a second reason.
Okay.
And if you as a manager have MGOs that are that way, you need to deal with it right now. Get going, deal with it, and deal with it in a compassionate and redemptive way. But you need to perceive like this is just not working. And
exactly.
Third reason is unqualified caseload, which we talked about.
That's huge.
And this is pervasive throughout
everywhere,
throughout the entire charitable world.
Yeah.
We've done analysis in Europe. We've done analysis in Australia. I've done analysis in Korea. We've done analysis in Canada, United States, Mexico.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter where you are. Here's all these people saying to themselves, well, boy, they gave a lot of money. So I'm just going to put them on the caseload. Right. In fact, you hear a lot of chatter that way. I mean, you've heard it.
Oh,
well, let's put Peter on the caseload.
Yeah, he'd be good.
He gave $10,000, and boy, here we go. And Peter does not want to talk to you. So why are you putting him on the caseload? Because he gave $10,000? That's not a good reason. So unqualified caseload is a huge reason for low ROI.
So what happens is when you have a lot of unqualified donors in a portfolio, they're not producing because you can't ever talk to them.
Exactly.
They don't want to talk to you.
So 2/3 of the people so let's say you have 150 donors on the caseload. Literally 100 of them do not want to talk to you. So you've got 50 people producing the revenue.
I would say that this is the number one thing. If you could qualify these donors, it would cover so many ills that you experience as a major gift officer, and especially the low net revenue problem.
Exactly. So another big one is there's no match to the donor's passions and interests. This is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. We have so many major gift officers that are basically saying, well, you know what, Ann, or that wonderful donor, Ann, she just loves our organization. And so
God bless her.
Yeah, and we just and it's just a wonderful thing. And well, now what's Ann interested in, major gift officer? Well, what is Ann interested? Well, you know, it really doesn't matter, Richard, because she just loves our organization. No, it does matter.
Yeah.
It's the passions and interests of a donor are what drive giving. And understanding the drivers behind those passions and interests are so critical.
Yeah.
It
takes work, though.
It takes a lot of work. In fact, a lot of people ask us, well, how do you find out what those passions and interests are? And it's about being curious.
Yeah.
And it's about taking time. Like you and I have done that. I mean, we've known each other for years and years and years, but in the early years. So Jeff, what are you interested in? And why are you interested in that?
Yeah.
And you get to know, like, well, this is how Jeff is wired.
Right.
And this is what really kind of piques his interest and so on. You've got to find that out. How are you actually going to generate any revenue from a donor if you don't know what they're interested in? In addition to just the general interest.
Yeah.
You got to know that.
Yeah. All right. That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you. So here, tell us another one. We're at the 5 now.
Yep. Few or no donor offers, which is a big one. So we liken this, and we've talked about this on other podcasts and in our writings, but basically, I always like to use this analogy where you hire a salesperson in a commercial company,
right? And
you say, you know what, Bill, it's really great to have. And this Bill is just a competent salesman. I mean, he's just sold millions of dollars of product out there. Yeah. So we hire him. You and I do. And he comes in and we say, now, Bill, we want to show you what we're going to be selling here. And we take him out to this 5,000 square foot warehouse.
Nice.
And there's all these shelves there with nothing on them. Now, Bill is going to have a heart attack, right? Because he's going to say, well, Jeff, Richard, what are we selling? Don't worry about it. We have a great reputation, a great brand. Just get out there and do it.
I know.
That's what happens in the nonprofit world. Now, you know what we do. We're in the conservation business. We save the environment, or we're in the adoption business, or we're in whatever business you're in, education business, and just get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, just show them that video. That's what we do.
Yeah, we do these 4 things.
And it's like, so you can know the donor's passion and interest. Let's say you're really good at that.
Yeah.
You can know that.
Yeah.
And then you come into the empty warehouse. What's the point?
There is no point. I mean, and that is why you have low ROI. Now, let me give you an example of this. In fact, we've had 2 recent examples of this where you had in one situation, you had a donor giving $5,000 a year. Mm-hmm. Very, very wealthy donor giving $5,000 a year. When the major gift officer figured out this woman's passions and interests down to a deep, deep level, mm-hmm. and matched that passion and interest to the needs of the organization, when that all happened, that donor gave $4 million cash.
Wow.
In 1 year, and $8 million the next year. Cash.
Wow.
I have a recent situation where a donor was giving $400,000 a year, very, very wealthy person. And when there was a match between that donor's passions and interests and the needs of the organization, the person gave $9 million.
Wow.
And if you knew the details of this donor, you would understand that $9 million was like petty cash to this man and his wife. There's something magical that happens when you have something to present to the donor that actually matches what they care about.
Exactly.
So few or no donor offers is another reason. Another one is, and this is huge, little or no impact information.
Well, yeah. So how are we? Yeah, you got to report back to the donor how their gift is making a difference, right?
Now, why does that matter?
We know that if we don't do that, this donor gives their precious gift
Mm-hmm.
and they never hear from you how that made a difference or an impact, they'll go away.
You mean I just can't just thank them and we'll be done with it?
No, it's not good enough. Maybe it was 40 years ago, but today you've got to show the impact of that gift.
I mean, if you take this down to a personal level, I mean, I don't know if this has happened to you, Jeff. I'm sure it has, where you've done something really nice for somebody.
Yeah.
And you don't hear a peep from them.
Yep.
And you say to yourself,
it's the last time I'm going to do that nice to them.
well, I know you say, you mean, what am I, chopped liver?
I know.
Like,
you feel like crap.
You do.
Yeah.
And so like to think that the donor doesn't actually want to know, like, well, what happened? What good? Because if you believe, which you should, that the whole reason the donor gives in the first place is because they want to make a difference.
Right.
If you don't actually tell them they made a difference and keep telling them they made a difference, then you have basically told the donor, oh, you know what? Don't give to us anymore. So that's a huge reason.
Yeah.
In fact, we find more and more donors that go away and give somewhere else to make a difference because they're not making a difference.
I mean, if you're a major gift officer, if you could do that little piece, just reporting back, and you can do it all through the course of the year. It doesn't even have to be expensive.
Right.
There can be a formal report, but we're not even talking just about a formal report, but little things during the year that says, hey, I just wanted to take some time and tell you about this program that you're funding. Here's a little video of it.
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, just that little thing would set you apart from every other nonprofit because no one is doing this well.
Just use your phone. And take a little video, and it doesn't. I mean, I remember the one client that was taking a video of, and it was of the impact a donor had in a specific area, and it was the worst video on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
I mean, it was shaky,
right.
and it was like it was. But I mean, when you saw it, it affected your heart. It was like, oh my God, if I was the donor, and I had gotten that video, I would have said to myself, wow. I'm so glad I made that gift. It was just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So impact information, telling donor that they made a difference is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Another reason for low ROI is a poor thank you and stewardship process.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I know. It's like we're in an age now where donors expect to be thanked. And there's a certain thing they just expect. If you give a gift, they're going to get a letter, probably a call, if you're a major donor.
Right.
But it's going beyond that. If you want to be a good major gift officer, go beyond the expectation of a donor and do something special for the donor.
Exactly.
To thank them. And again, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money, but it's meaningful to the donor. I mean, we've got 1,000 stories that we can do more podcasts on how to think appropriately. But this is true. If we're not doing that well, we know for a fact because we know donors that have left and stopped giving because they never were thanked properly.
Well, and I remember one situation that I encountered where there was a check for, it was like $71,000 that was sitting in some finance person's drawer because they didn't know what to do with it. So they had put it in the drawer to deal with it later. It's a classic procrastination thing. Uh-huh. And then it was found like 2 or 3 weeks later. So there's a problem with the system that even with a larger, I mean, I'm not saying that you should treat the larger check any different than the $15
right.
one that came in, but it's like, really? Really? You didn't understand that this precious money that this donor has given us, you didn't understand that was a very important thing for you to deal with, and you put it away, and then you forgot about it. That is so abusive. So if you have a bad system on the back end, we suggest to people like, why don't you just test it out?
Make a gift.
Give $10 yourself.
Yeah.
and see what happens to you and how fast it happens to you. And you might learn a whole bunch of stuff that's not right in your organization. But boy, a poor thank you and stewardship thing is a huge reason for low ROI. Or not having a personalized plan. That's another one.
Well, yeah.
For the donor. I mean, we talk about this a lot, Jeff, where it's like, you know what? You've got to have a plan that's personal to the donor. Don't just say, well, I've got a caseload of donors and I'm just going to send the same thing to everybody. Now, why would you send the same thing to everybody? These are unique human beings. Why would you do that?
Because it's easier.
Oh, because I can be lazy.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, it is.
But it
easier.
happens.
It happens all the time. And a kind of a general non-personalized approach to the donor is not going to yield good economic results.
Yeah.
I'm amazed even in the commercial side of things when you get messages from people and they don't actually know, the people sending you the message know what the transaction was that you did, which then prompted the message. The disconnect is so great.
Yes.
And this happens in the nonprofit world. Look, I gave to this and I was interested in that, but then now you're talking to me about this other thing over here.
That's right.
And it's like there's no personalized information.
There's no excuse either. Because if you have a full caseload, you're talking 150. If you can't spend the time to know every one of them and what's appropriate and all of that and have a plan for everyone, then you shouldn't be doing this work. I mean,
you shouldn't.
Come on.
You shouldn't.
150 people. We're not talking thousands of people here.
Yeah. Yeah, a personalized plan is so important. And if you don't have it for each of your donors, you're going to have a low ROI. There's two reasons that relate to authority figures. One is pressure from the authority figure, and then distractions from the authority figure.
Yes.
These are two reasons for low ROI. Pressure, pushing the ROI to get money.
Yep.
I mean, the MGO to get money.
Which causes fear, fear, pressure. It's the whole thing.
Which actually pushes the donor away.
Yeah.
And I understand this at some level because we all have to reach budget goals. And, we have cash flow goals and the finance person's all wound up and red in the face because we're behind. I understand. But you cannot treat another human being in a manner that is utilitarian and treating them as kind of a source of cash instead of a partner. You can't do that.
Here's how you combat that is go back to the last one you just talked about is having a plan.
Right.
If you have a plan for every donor every month and that person, and you know exactly when things are happening, the manager can look at that.
So
say,
yes,
I'm working my plan.
Yeah. So when the manager's putting pressure on you, you can actually talk. That's good, Jeff. So pressure causes a low ROI, and then distractions from the authority figure. How many times have we seen this? Like, let's go do this or let's go do that. You know what we need? We're just going to have Sally do that work there. Now, why are you having Sally do that work? She's got all this work with these major gift officers.
Yeah.
No, they're going to go off and do. And it all seems to be legitimate. Well, there's going to be a lot of major donors. In fact, from Sally's portfolio, there's going to be a lot of these major donors at the event.
Yeah.
Which is why we have to have Sally sourcing the food. Like really? No.
Go to Whole Foods, pick up the fruit plate.
Exactly. And the cheese board. and don't forget the wine. And Sally, you need to get out there. And then Sally gets in trouble for low ROI.
Yeah.
So distractions. And this happens a lot. Distractions. I think another reason for low ROI is the nonprofit brand problem. If a nonprofit has negative or unclear information out there in the marketplace, then they have kind of an image problem. I mean, it follows, and then it reduces the MGO's ability to actually develop return on investment.
Yeah.
So if you have a bad reputation and or there's been some kind of scandal or not even a scandal where maybe someone has said, well, something negative, or there's something going on, or you say you're doing this kind of work, but you're really doing that kind of work, or there's some kind of situation out there that's negative that is clouding your brand. It's going to affect donors.
Yeah, especially if you're not forthcoming and talking honestly to the donor about those kind of problems that happen.
Yep.
It's like, we can't talk about that, or you put out sometimes you see these letters from nonprofits that, they send them to their major donors and they don't really tell the real story. It's like the fake story.
Right.
And donors sniff that out.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem, be honest with your donors, be upfront, talk about what happened. They'll respect that so much more than you trying to hide something.
Exactly. Now, here's a situation that we run into quite a lot with major donors where, so I'm going to describe a situation. I'm going to disguise it because it's very private. But so here's a donor that's giving $3.5 million to a program. And the initial discussion with this donor was, well, here's the program and here's how it's going to work. Then as the program's kind of going along, there's some things that happen that start to go wrong with the program. Now,
which a lot of times happens.
Well, I mean, it's life.
Yeah.
That's how it is. And so in this particular situation, I was basically saying to the CEO and the fundraisers, look, you have got to tell the donor that the original thing that you sold them on, this couple, is changing. This has failed. Now you're doing this instead. No, we can't tell them. So they don't tell them. And so I kept saying, you're going to have a serious problem if you don't just. And the other thing I said, look, most of these people that give a lot of money are business people or they've been entrepreneurs. They've been out there. What's true of life? I mean, it's true of our whole business experience, Jeff.
Every time, there's things that go wrong.
Everything goes wrong in life. Everything. In fact,
okay.
Well, I mean, life is made up of a bunch of experiments,
exactly,
and failures, because that's how you figure things out.
Exactly.
So I said to them, I says, do you understand that? Yeah, we understand that, but we don't want to talk to them. So they didn't. And then when the donor found out, they were so angry that they stopped giving.
Yeah.
And here was a relationship where this donor was pumping into this program $3.5 million a year. And I tell you, that was a lesson for me too, is like, you know what, you've got to talk to donors. Just sit down and say, you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Donor, we said this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's not happening for these reasons. So this is what we're going to do. And it's going to be just fine. It'll be just fine. But that's one of those situations where ROI goes down because you have some kind of problem internally and you're not talking about it.
That's right.
And you're not dealing with it.
All right. Now we're on the last one. This is number 12 here.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with the major gift officer.
Okay.
Recognizing them and thanking them and managing them in a positive way.
Well, so simple.
It's so simple.
But we don't do it.
We don't do it. And so like, how many conversations have you had with major gift officers in large and small organizations around the country and outside of the country, Jeff, where they say, I don't feel like I'm appreciated.
So many.
I know.
I mean, so many.
It's actually very sad.
It is sad.
It's very sad. Like, really, authority figure, manager, you can't take the time to recognize the good work this major gift officer has done. You can't do that. Don't you yourself need that from your boss?
Exactly.
You do. So come on, get with it. So that's another big reason. I mean, so these are all the reasons. And as we've gone through each of them, we've basically said, now, and here's what you should do about that reason. Yeah. And so, it might be good to listen to this podcast again and kind of write this all down and say like, okay, this is what I'm going to do on this one. These are the reasons. So it's not, and a lot of these reasons have to do with how we operate versus how the donor's thinking.
That's right.
And this is what folks need to pay attention to and managers need to pay attention to.
Well, we want to thank you for being with us, and we want to give you away something. So we want you to go to veritasgroup.com and download a white paper called Starting a Successful Major Gift Program. This white paper is free to you. Just go to veritasgroup.com and download the Starting a Major Gift Program. A successful major gift program, I should say. So
Thanks for being with us. And hopefully you've gotten some good information for how to be an incredible MGO and to produce more net revenue for your portfolio.
Yeah, thanks for being with us.
Yes, we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for the Nothing But Major Gifts podcast from Veritas Group. Richard and Jeff also write an ongoing blog that you can subscribe to for free at veritasgroup.com. Please join us again next time.